Hello. Can you guys see me, hear me? Welcome to this open Q&A session about light language, where I'll be answering the most commonly asked questions about light language, because it's such a mystical modality. It's many people don't really know how to put your logic conscious mind to it, because when you're doing light language transmission, your conscious mind kind of doesn't participate. And therefore, there is a lot of mystery around light language. There's a lot of uncertainty. People are sometimes scared to channel it. People don't know because they don't understand what some people are channeling. So today I'm tuning in on YouTube and on Facebook and also on TikTok, but I encourage TikTokers to come over to my YouTube channel where we'll have slides and there will be much better quality of transmission. Christy says, I'm so excited to be here live. Welcome, Christy. Can you guys let me know whether you can hear me okay, whether you can see me okay, because today I'm doing a new thing with slides on StreamYard, at least here on Facebook and on YouTube. So it would be kind of good to know that I'm audible and visible and that everything is fine. So as I said, I will be answering the most commonly asked questions about light language. And these are questions that people ask me during my transmissions. A lot of people ask them on TikTok. And because we have a light language course next edition coming up, and in the next 48 hours a special price will expire, and I know there's a lot of people considering participating in this light language course and getting your own light languages activated, but there's also a lot of uncertainty and a lot of questions and a lot of doubts, and this is your opportunity to ask any light language question you may have. I've gathered the ones that are most frequently asked, but I'm also anticipating your questions here on chat. And I'll be very grateful if you're enjoying this transmission, and if you feel that someone else could benefit from this transmission, please share it onto perhaps relevant groups or with your friends or wherever you feel like this transmission belongs. So I want to start by answering a very popular question that a lot of TikTokers asked, which is, do I have to be a starseed to activate light language? Because it's kind of connected, but not necessarily. So I just want to explain this issue, whether you have to be a starseed to activate light language. So many of you are aware that I speak many galactic light languages, meaning light languages of beings of light, meaning light languages of extraterrestrial beings, such as the Arcturians, such as the Andromedans, such as the Sirians, the Lyrans, the Pleiadians. I speak quite a lot of different light languages. And when various light languages activate in other people, they can be of galactic origins. So many of my students activate Blue Avian or Arcturian or Pleiadian or Lyran, and they send me samples, and I can say then, okay, you channel Lyran or you speak Sirian. I am very familiar with all these galactic energies, so I can recognize them. So the question is, does that mean they're all Starseeds? The ones who activate galactic light languages are absolutely Starseeds. So Starseeds is not just a fantasy, because those light languages come from somewhere. And in this case, they actually come from your memory of languages that your soul has spoken once in the its journey through different incarnations. And this journey could have taken you through being different galactic beings, such as the Arcturians, such as the Pleiadians, such as whatever other race you may have had incarnated. So the fact that you speak Arcturian light language will be like a hard proof that you were once an Arcturian. The fact that you speak Pleiadian light language will be a hard proof that you were once a Pleiadian. So by all means, yes, speaking a galactic light language is a confirmation that you are a starseed. And not just a confirmation that you are a starseed, but also usually what happens is the first light language that activates in a person is the memory that's closest to this incarnation. So is the memory of the last galactic incarnation. So this is something that that basically activates first, and then you know that you came here from Arcturus, or you know you came here from Pleiades or Sirius or another place in the galaxy. So, okay, someone is asking currently on TikTok, how do I get to this point? How do I get to a point to activate light language? So I haven't got that on slides, but I can explain that very easily. And by the way, guys, on TikTok, jump on YouTube, you're going to have it on a bigger screen and you're going to have a much better quality of experience. You'll be able to see the slides as well. So light language is not something that can be learned. Light language is something that activates. And how do you activate it? You activate it when you come into contact with particular energies. So when you come into contact with Pleiadian energy and you were a Pleiadian starseed, you will activate Pleiadian language. If you come into contact with Arcturian energies and you're an Arcturian starseed, you will activate Arcturian language. You can activate more than one light language. It's pretty simple. You don't need to really do anything apart from have an intention surrender. The most, I would say, tricky part is how do you how do you learn light language, or how do you bring those energies in? Well, this is where I come because this is something I do for my students. So basically, when I conduct a light language activation, I basically bring energies of beings of light, such as the Arcturians, such as the Sirians. I actually bring all of them one after another. And I put an intention out there that I want to activate Starseeds. This is within my soul's mission, so it's not a big deal. It's what I'm here for. And this is where then we go through every race that is my friendly race. And so usually I start with Arcturian because it's the closest to my heart. Then I go through Pleiadian, Sirian, Andromedan. Last time I did a light language activation, I've brought 10 different races of light for Galactic. And then I've done a separate activation with Lemurian and Atlantean languages, which is, both of these are a part of my light language course, which is currently available on a special offer for the next 48 hours. So if you want to go through a light language activation, and if you want to activate your light languages, then that's the simplest way you can do it. Of course, it's not exclusive. It's not that, a lot of people activate light languages spontaneously. A lot of people activate light languages in a meditation, but it's a bit of a hit and miss. How long can you meditate? When will it activate? Whereas in my activations, it's pretty surefire. Go through the activation and it will happen. At least 9 times out of 10. Most of my students activate light language on day 1 of light language course, because I don't believe there needs to be some special kind of initiation for it. But I do believe that after you activate your light language, you need to learn how to use this beautiful tool you've got. And this is precisely why I've got a whole course on using it with intention, understanding it, etc., because I believe that it's just something really beautiful. But it's, it's like being given a really fast car and not knowing how to drive it. Yes, you can kind of learn by trial and error, but it's good to have a driving instructor to show you actually how to use this car that you've got. So that is how it is. So Jaylee, I'm not sure if I'm reading your name right, says, I think my light language is from Earth. So let's go back to the question, do I have to be a Stasi to activate light language? No, you don't. Because there are languages of Earth as well. And one of these languages is Lemurian language, which a lot of you will be familiar with because I speak Lemurian quite a lot in different activations, and it's quite a gentle language, very similar to languages of the Pacific Islands, actually. A lot of people say, oh, it reminds me of Hawaiian, or it reminds me of Samoan or whatever. So it does sound like that, and sounds of Lemurian kind of been preserved in this region. There is Atlantean language, which is complete and polar opposite, very hard, very masculine. And there's also other languages of Earth. So you don't have to be a Stasi to activate light language. In all honesty, because you can be an Earthseed, you can be a Lemurian or Atlantean descendant who will have access to Lemurian and Atlantean language, or you can be both. I am both. I've been through so many lifetimes. I've been through a lifetime in Atlantis, I've been through a lifetime in Lemuria, and I've been through at least 5 different incarnations as major races such as Arcturian, Lyran, Sirian, and Pleiadian, and Reptilian, unfortunately. Yes, the negative races also have the languages. So that's, you go through all these different incarnations, you've got access to all of these languages. I've got access to more because my mission is to activate others. And I can't activate others without speaking their language. Because how we go through the activation is I bring those energies and I channel them in a form of this language. And then in the end, I usually do like a blanket activation where I say any other races of light who are present, and I indicate races of light, not of darkness, only highest vibrations are allowed. Can you activate your starseeds or your descendants? And that's what happens. Now, what if you haven't been a Lemurian? What if you haven't been an Atlantean? What if you haven't been a galactic race? Still, there is a light language available for you, and that's the language of your soul, your unique expression. And this is something that I'm adding now to the light language course. There'll be a live session with activating soul language, because I really want to dig deep into people's unique expression, because every soul has its unique sound. And apart from all these various light language that you hear me speak in various transmission, I also speak my soul language. I don't speak it publicly because my soul's expression is not very pleasant on human ears. It literally sounds quite like someone who really likes singing but can't sing. Whereas when I chant other light languages, such as the Akashic language, it's all like melodic, it's all beautiful. But when my soul comes to play, she's wild. And I don't want to put anybody through it. My husband's been subject to my soul's expression a few times, and I think the consensus is that we don't need to bring it public. But many people have beautiful, like, angelic voices, and their soul expression is this kind of harmonious one. Mine isn't. But this light language is very powerful. It's the language of your soul. You can 100% activate that. Another thing that you can have as the ability of light language develops is that you can pretty much tune into any language. And this is the stage I'm at. So, for example, when I lived in Australia, I sat on a rock in north of WA. There were these ancient rocks near Broome where there's dinosaur footprints, so very, very special place. And there was nobody there, just me and my husband and the sea. And I just started like meditating, and I connected to the spirit of the land, of the region there. I started channeling this Aboriginal language, and the language was telling me the history, and the language was, because I was translating it, I was just kind of like connecting to it, and how much love it had for its people, and what it's seen over the years. It was really beautiful. And that was my first experience with something like that. But then that happened again when I came back to Perth, and it was a different region, different regional spirit, and this same thing happened. And then when I moved to Costa Rica, I started channeling the spirit of Costa Rica, which is totally different than the spirits of Australia, because it's like more of this kind of like light-hearted, joyful, masculine spirit, whereas the spirit of Australia was this ancient kind of like totally different. So it's all possible. So yeah, I'm just catching up here with comments. If you guys have any more questions about light languages, let me know. If you are enjoying this Q&A session, then share it forward with your friends or with some groups that you know. Yeah, I'm just catching up here with this. Christy says, I'm starting to speak it fine. I definitely can tell as many different kinds. Yeah, so there we go, Christy. The thing is, next level, and this is something that, again, we go through in the light language course, and that I train my students to do, is to toggle between them at will. Because there is a possibility that if you have already activated the ability to channel light language, but you're not very aware of what light languages are available, you'll be channeling random stuff and not understanding what you're channeling. And there's so many people out there who do that, and nothing wrong with that. Those frequencies are powerful either way. Yeah. So how do you know where your light language is coming from? Well, you become familiar with energies of various beings. And the next stage is to be able to toggle between light languages at will. So it's not something that is kind of then difficult to do. It's just becomes your natural state. So okay, I want to channel Pleiadian, and I want to channel Pleiadian for this and that intention, and bang, it comes. It is a matter of practice, and this is precisely why I don't do just activations anymore. I want to deliver a whole course so people have an entire journey with light language. I'm happy to channel light language anytime. That's why you find a lot of my free transmissions available on YouTube, available on my Facebook, and I'm happy sharing them in meditations. I'm happy sharing and guiding. But when I'm teaching light language, I actually want to teach it the proper way, full Monty. So it's not like just, okay, I'm going to activate your light language and leave you be. I've done it at the beginning of my journey as a Starseed activator, but that didn't feel right, because I feel like, again, it's like giving someone this super beautiful, expensive car and not teaching them how to drive. So when the light language starts flowing and you feel like maybe it's different kinds, you need to learn to toggle between them. And sometimes people think there's many different light languages that they channel, and they send me samples, and it's like, I'm like, actually no, it's the same language, and I can sense the energy. Sometimes it is really a few different ones, and I can tell them each one apart. So how do you know where your light language comes from? You learn the unique energies of different beings of light, and the more you know of them, the easier it becomes to distinguish between them. And this is how you learn, and this is how I've learned, because each single light language in me activated when I first came into contact with various races. That's why I know this is Sirian, because this activated when I met Sirians. It didn't activate when I met Pleiadians, and they completely different frequencies. And those frequencies channeled in light languages, literally, they mirror the character and like the spirit of this race of light. So Arcturian language reflects how Arcturians are, and Sirian language reflects how Sirians are, and that's the beauty of light language. So once you learn, once you activate light language, next step is to get to know your guides, various races of light, who speak those languages and who basically give you their energy to share with the world. And this is what you're doing as a light language practitioner. You're sharing this energy, what is a healing energy, what is an activating energy. I use light languages for activating people, and very often for deactivating certain things like collective grids, negative energies, etc. Some people use it for healing. Healing is not my calling. Sometimes I use it for animals. I use Andromedan language for animals, but it's not my healing. It's not here what I'm here for in the world. But however, if you are a healer, light language can be an absolutely potent tool in your energetic toolbox. Okay, I'm just catching up here with more comments. Kristen says, I'm watching between here and Facebook. I activated light language early last year and ran with it for months. Yeah. I've sent you recording September, October. I'm not sure where the recording was sent, Christine. Like all my students have access to my mailbox. So if you are my student, you'll know what title to put in order to make sure that I kind of get there. So yeah, if I sent about October 2020, goodness me, that I can't remember. I've listened to so many samples since. It's been a long journey. At the beginning, I was listening to anybody's samples, and that really helped me learn the sounds of different light language and practice my skill recognizing them really quickly. So my mailbox was open. However, I had quite a number of instances where people were sending a very negative energy in languages. There was this one person who actually sent me curses, and that wasn't my student, that was just some random stranger, but I was just, people were taking advantage of my openness and good heart. So then what I did is I limited my light language samples to only my students, and I'm sticking to it. If you want to work with me, you either come to my light language course or you book an individual session. I'm not receiving any more samples because I'm trying to protect myself energetically, and I just also want to focus on those who want to journey with me rather than just use me like a free version of Google. It's like when you use a tradesperson to give you a quote just so you can kind of like, I don't know, compete against another person. My time is precious, and I want to kind of devote it to those who are serious about light language, and most of all for those who have genuine good intentions. So I no longer welcome samples because I've had so many like stinking energy bombs since I've started listening to every sample that I had to limit that. Okay, that's Shelley's got a great question with regards to animals. Are there specific languages to use? By the way, Shelley Wasiki is a animal communicator. So there will be a podcast coming out with Shelley very soon. I think it will be by the end of December, about animal communication. But let me answer the questions about animals and light languages, because animals, for those of you who do work with animals or who have animals and speak light languages, you will know that animals react to light language. Animals react to energy and frequency. And I've had it many times when people listen to my activations, they said, oh, my cat started going crazy, or the other way around, my cat really calmed down and really liked it, or my dog, whatever. There's a lot of that going on. So they definitely feel frequencies in light languages. And there are specific languages that are more suited for animals. So first of all, a specific language to use on animals is Andromedan. This is a very elemental language. Andromedans are a race of beings who are very much in tune with the planet, and they can control weather. They like live a little bit like in Avatar, only they don't kill animals. They kind of completely like plant-based, like most of the races of light. So they literally, everything is super sustainable. There's no plastic. They used to be like us, but eons ago, they almost had like a planetary referendum where they decided they want to be more sustainable because that wouldn't work. So their language commands elements. Very often when I speak Andromedan, I can almost feel the wind. And I sometimes use Andromedan to dispel certain energies, but I also use it to heal animals and to heal plants. It's not just animals, it's also plants. You can speak Andromedan to plants. And I remember one of my students, I think in one of the first editions of Light Language course, spoke Andromedan to her tomato plants. And the tomato plants have managed to pick up because they were quite sickly. I speak Andromedan to plants as well, and they love it. So that's one language you can speak to animals. Another language for animals is Lemurian. Lemurian is very, very soft. So now I'm in Costa Rica. I've got an unofficial cat and dog canteen slash shelter. So within my first 48 hours, I adopted my first animal. A cat just rocked up and then brought 3 other brothers and sisters. So I've got 4 cats now. And yesterday, I adopted a dog as well. It was, again, a stray dog, but came for good. A lot of dogs just come through my house and just feed, etc. But some of them are very scared because they run away. Maybe they were always stray, etc. So what I do is I just start speaking very soft Lemurian. So, it sounds like that. Kimana makane, mikuna maane, itamana una, iamana ka, inamana u, ikamana kesune, nirakane namano meka ni kumana. And then I just project this motherly energy. Oh, they love it. For cats specifically, cat language, the feline Lyran language is great. Cats love it. Cats love Lyran language. And that's how I managed to adopt 4 stray cats, which were completely wild, and now they're house cats, kind of like in and out. But like I called all my cats in cat language too. So I've got Maya, Koyo, I've got Waika, which isn't a cat name, but and I've got Don Gato, is this big male tomcat. Call him Mr. Cat. So yeah, that's my cat collection. So if you want to hear a little bit of Lyran feline, this is what it sounds like. Kamana koi karabaya kaya maya no koya sukuri karea paika no kui kamai kai na koi kui te sia ta kamai kana makui kamai kai ne koi kuya mai kai te amaya te kui sui kuya maya te ya kaya mai kui koi. You might play it to your cat and see how they like it. So yeah, Christine says I talk to my dogs in light language. So last bit of this question: any specific languages to use for animals? For birds, use either Lyran Avian or Blue Avian. Blue Avian, everybody's got a different Blue Avian. So those people, and I've had a few students who activated Blue Avian, they all sound different. Mine is a bit like, it sounds like bird, basically. So if you go into the wild, I've tried it in Australia in different parks with people around, and I always got strange looks, but I can start speaking to birds in bird language. And they always cover their heads and they like that. So yeah, you can communicate in light language to animals. But most of all, when you're communicating to animals in light language, you also project your heart and your good intention. They always feel it. They always feel it. So use it for good. If you ever need to calm an animal down, you can use Lemurian. But Andromedan, you can actually heal animals with Andromedan. And there's a lady in our quantum club who actually healed a dog, not so much with light language, but generally with Andromedan energy, and that was quite like a big dog was really seriously ill. So I feel like it's really, really awesome. Okay, Lena says blessings from Costa Rica. You are the few people that my spirit recognizes true. What do you do? I'm glad the universe got us together. Oh, thank you so much, Lena. Enjoying your beautiful country and the refuge it gives me and the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy here that's helping me really thrive and, tune into abundance. That's what I love about Costa Rica. I kind of, in Australia, it was a big decision. I really wanted to have animals, but some puppies were going for like $5,000 a puppy, and I thought, no way I'm paying that when there's so many stray animals in the world. It's just like too much. And here I moved in, And I've got abundance of animals, abundance of plants. I've brought some plants yesterday with me, like from that was growing on a tree. So I just detached it from trees. So I love it here. But anyway, it's not about Costa Rica. It's about light language. Tiffany says Andromeda. Yay. Okay, let's see the questions. If you guys have any other questions on light language, let me know. I'm going to have a little look through. Oh, there's more Costa Ricans here in TikTok. Hello. Do you speak Spanish? Very, very poorly. I'm learning. I've only been here for 6 weeks, and when the spirit called me to Costa Rica, it didn't give me much preparation. So I didn't have a chance to learn Spanish. So I'm learning slowly. I can probably talk about consciousness easier than I can order a coffee in a shop, but give me some time. Maybe I'll be delivering courses in Spanish. Okay, Jaylee, I'm only ever shown a Native American past life, but I feel like a Starseed. Perhaps you just haven't tapped into it. But, it doesn't matter whether you are a Starseed, whether you are an Earthseed. Everybody's here on a unique mission. And if you are tuned in to the shamanic wisdom of Native Americans, goodness me, what a power. What a power. I've kind of recently worked with shamans here in Costa Rica with Colombian tradition. And goodness me, I literally bow down to this. So, you don't have to be a Stasi. There is no better or worse path to ascension. It's not the case that, shamanic path is better than the galactic path. They all lead into the same destination. And every soul's journey is unique. My soul's journey definitely didn't choose a shamanic path for this lifetime. I admire it, but it's not my path. My path is galactic. The shamanic initiations are very harsh. I prefer gentler energy. So if you're more into like a less rough path, then I feel like this is more what I do. And when you come into my orbit and when you do the light language course or work with me in any other capacity, then it's not just activating your abilities, whether you're a starseed or an earthseed or a healer or a light worker or an entrepreneur. You are here on a unique journey. And I feel like my biggest mission here is to activate people's unique potential and literally gently coax them into alignment. Because, alignment can happen in many different ways. I've had an example in a recent plant medicine ceremony where people are moving into alignment, where they're purging and, it's all violent and it's all kind of crazy. And this is one of the ways you can move into alignment, where you removing layers and removing densities. And I've done that as well after my awakening. I've done that very intensely, but not as intensely as plant medicine. So everybody's got their own way of moving into ascension. And one of my gifts here is activating and equipping starseeds, earthseeds, lightworkers, and awakened entrepreneurs, because I've got a business background. It's my passion. And I believe that for this stage of ascension, we need business people as well, and others, to usher in this new earth. When you come into my orbit, it will be a transformation journey. It's not just going to be a journey of activating abilities, because I want to move you into your soul's full expression and full alignment. A light language is one of the forms your soul expresses itself fully. It can express itself through business. It can express itself through healing. Either way, give your soul a right for full expression, because this is what is so important, is to find this unique expression. Okay. Lela says, I got goosebumps to know you. Here, Arcturian is the language that connected to you. Please, can you send me a blessing in Arcturian? Okay, I'll send you all a blessing in Arcturian. How about that? Okay, guys, Arcturian is my favorite language. My Arcturian guides are with me all the time. I'm an Arcturian starseed. So here comes a blessing in Arcturian, and I'll just let it flow, and then I'll translate what I said. Talahela bahturuhtia hete maharuhtika hea mahat uruhi araheta rahusu kahe mahu arah itiahas. Meha ekaruhatia mahesira ahea mohue mehatarahasi karaha enihu erahatia kumaha eheatu hasehia Ke amorahade itahusu etahusu. Nemahate yahara yaharakea aramua. Inamuhasea araha yahalea. Okay, so let me translate what this said. It was actually a very quick activation. So it was something along the lines, may your heart open, may your head open to our energies that we're beaming into the earth, and may your feet be grateful for walking on this planet and anchoring these energies to earth. So this is what I've pretty much in free translation, what I just said in Arcturian. So sending you love from my soul family and Arcturian. Okay, more questions. Christy says, why does it make my mother fall asleep when I speak light language? I notice they get sleepy. Okay, I actually prepared this question. Where is this question? I already had it on a slide somewhere. Hang on, here. Why do I fall asleep when listening to light language transmissions? This question comes up all the time, Christy. You're not the only one who asked that. So basically what it is with light language, it is energy. And sometimes our consciousness literally cannot process that. Our day-to-day brain just can't get over those transmissions. So we cut off and we fall asleep. And it happened to me many times when I listen to other people's transmissions, any energy transmission, it doesn't even have to be light language, where it just cut off. Sometimes you cut off when you're not quite ready. That's another thing I've noticed. So there was this one particular transmission that I kept coming back. There was this meditation. There was no light language. There was an energy transmission. I keep coming back to it and back to it and back to it. And I think I must have listened on and off to it for about a year. And I could never listen to the full 40 minutes without falling asleep. Until finally, I've been ready for it. And I listened all the way through without falling asleep. So sometimes when we're not consciously ready, light language works in our energy field beyond our conscious mind. So our conscious mind will cut off whilst, oh, hang on, I've disappeared. Where am I? Here am I. I'm not just a voice on the screen. I'm actually here, guys. I've disappeared off the screen on YouTube. So yeah, light language works in our energy field. And when there's energy work being done on our field, it's basically sometimes impossible to anchor them in. And sometimes your conscious mind just cuts off. And Christy says, is it because my vibrations are higher than theirs? Not necessarily. And I would be quite mindful not to start, being like, my vibration is so high, etc. Because we can let our ego open up here. Sometimes is basically because it's so intense on someone's energy field that the conscious mind can't cope with that frequency just yet. It doesn't mean it doesn't do any work. It does the work. It's just the body shuts off. It's a little bit like, when you're getting some procedure done and there is an anesthetic, or there is something where you just kind of like you can't take it consciously, but it still works in your field. Whenever you're doing an upgrade to your nervous system through galactic languages or other energy transmissions, it can be quite taxing on your body. This is why people get ringing in the ears. That's when you're upgrading, why your energy is upgrading. That's when people get, what they call ascension symptoms, which I don't like that word because, ascension is not an illness. There's no such thing as ascension symptoms. But yes, you can have, I don't think there's symptoms of ascension. There's symptoms of integration of energy work. And yeah, that's why we sometimes fall asleep. Yep. Lena is asking, the first time I hear you, it was speaking Arcturian, and every time I feel pain in my heart and start to cry. Why? I feel it's like an open faucet. Let it flow. If any of the light languages are making you feel emotional or familiar, this is usually a surefire way that is not the first time you're dealing with it. When you're feeling emotional, it's normal. It's like my husband always says that when you're a starseed and you first come across your star family, it's like listening to an old song that you love, or it's like reuniting with a family that you haven't seen for a long time at an airport. So this is how we know this connection is an emotional connection, because there will be other languages that you listen to and they won't feel familiar. They won't feel emotional. If it feels emotional, there's usually an emotional charge, because your feelings, your heart, and sometimes your body is responding to it. This is why sometimes people get shivers. That's quite common with light language. There's power and energy that works in those languages beyond our conscious mind, beyond what we can even process. We're asking ourselves why, but your soul knows why. Lena, your soul knows that you are an Arcturian. I can guarantee you an Arcturian, because you wouldn't be asking questions about Arcturians. Otherwise, you'll be asking questions about Andromedans or Sirians. If you react to Arcturians, then most likely you are an Arcturian starseed. And if you come across this energy, maybe you try to express it yourself, because quite possibly you've got an Arcturian language in you too. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Any other questions? Yeah. Vanna says, I'm starting to get downloads, but not sure what's coming through. So this is a very interesting subject for me. Is I am all for conscious understanding. Perhaps it's the Sirian in me, because apart from being an Arcturian, I also was a Sirian once, and this Sirian imprint is very strong with me. Strong conscious mind control. But I'm all for conscious understanding of light language and any downloads, because otherwise, yes, something is uploading to our field, but it's almost like having zip files on your computer, but not knowing how to decompress them and how to open them up. It makes more sense when you can actually open them up. And this is why when I teach light languages, I also teach how to understand them. And this is why I can translate. I've given you a bit of Arcturian just a few minutes ago, and I translated because I know what I'm saying. We may not be yet at the stage where we understand every language word for word. We're moving to that stage. I've already had taste of it within my light language course, when my students could understand my transmission several times now. And I'm doing another coding and decoding practice in January. There will be new live sessions added to the course, and I can guarantee you that we'll unlock more understanding. I'll be channeling light language. I'll be asking people to tune in, and I'll be inviting them to channel, and the whole group will be deciphering it. We are getting there. We are getting there where we're going to be able to understand word for word. But for now, try to understand energy. And understanding energy means sometimes disengaging from a conscious brain and understanding through the heart and through other energy centers, such as the throat, such as your solar plexus, your womb, even your root chakra. They all communicate and they all receive us, not just your third eye, not just your brain, not just your crown, but all of you. So yeah, that's it. That's how you understand. So I got a month ago an ear test, because ringing of the ears big time. My test came perfectly normal, so I got that as the Ascension. Yeah, when you're doing a lot of energy work, that can happen. And if that does happen, ease off a bit. Just ease off a bit. Be gentle on your body. I remember when I was doing a lot of energy work, when I was like shedding density, and the density, it got quite intense. So I suggest that you ease off a bit. I'm just looking if there's any questions. If there are, I might not be able to answer them all, because I've got a session, individual session with a client coming shortly. But what I would love to invite you to do is, if you have any more questions, ask them in comments, and I will answer them when you maybe on the next live or just that. There's one more question I want to answer, because this is one I get a lot in regards to my light language course. Is there a way where the light language activation won't work on me? And again, yes, there are certain blocks for people to speak light language. And conscious mind is the biggest one. And feeling self-conscious, judging themselves and feeling like, this is not light language, I'm making it up. What's coming through is just gibberish. I hate the word gibberish. If you're going to work with me, you literally put that word out of your vocabulary. I don't want to hear it. Because honestly, every single light language, bar one, and I've received hundreds of samples so far, every single one was genuine. And I can tell them because I know them, and I can tell the energy behind them. I can read the energy. So is there a way the activation won't work on me? Sometimes there's blocks to people's throat chakra. That's why within my course, I do a throat chakra activation. Sometimes there is a block of the conscious mind. And what I need to do is get people into the body. So rather than be sat, because light language is quite a dynamic thing. It's not still. It's not like, yes, to some people it comes in a meditation, but it won't activate until you open your mouth. You've got to open your mouth. If it's coming through, even if it's one word, you've got to open your mouth. So just express it, and it will happen. So that's how you do it. So I remember I had Jen, who now speaks, I think Jen speaks Orion from what I remember. On Sunday, she messaged me saying, I know I want to use light language intentionally, but is there a chance a program and activations wouldn't work? I don't really know how this works, but I would love your input. And then 2 days later, Jen says, thanks for that free webinar. Then I joined the light language course, and day one, I already started flowing with light language. So, it was a path of surrender for Jen, and from every single person is a path of surrender. So as long as you consciously clinging on and thinking, I need to get it perfect, it may be a block. Once you relax and you forget what you sound like, you forget, what's your kind of like, how you gonna sound like, that's where it starts flowing. That's where it starts developing. That's where it starts really having an impact to other people's lives. So if you're ready to activate one or more light languages and use them with confidence and efficiency in your personal practice, and when working with clients, light language is perfect for healers, for coaches, for light workers. And if you want to discover origins of your light languages and your soul's history as a starseed and earth seed, because your light languages will indicate what starseed you are, or whether you're an earth seed, or whether you have had any other incarnation. And if you want to discover also unique energy signatures of other light languages, and learn how to use them with precision in your personal practice when working with clients, learn to code and decode light language, and have understanding of what you're channeling, what other people are channeling, then I invite you to my light language course. Apart from learning all these skills, you also experience deep shifts during the coded transmissions. The two main ones are codes of divine expression and codes of resonance, of message resonance, of business resonance. This course consists of over 16 sessions now, and by the end of it, you will activate your ability to channel light languages, discover origins of various light languages and the unique energy signatures, learn how to use them in your healing or coaching business, and learn how to receive and transmit consciousness technology, as well as go on a journey of transformation. Because every single time in this course I use light language, it's an activation or it's a knowledge download. So apart from actually learning all these skills yourself, you experience various activation. It will be a journey of transformation towards your soul's full expression. So the original course had 8 sessions. In the first one, we had the theory. Second one was an activation of galactic languages. And the third one was, again, a little bit of how to use light languages. Fourth one was an activation of Lemurian and Atlantean. There was a couple more coding and decoding practices. and a lot of practice sessions on understanding, channeling. And then I added an advanced coaching session when I answer lots of questions. I added another decoding practice, and I'm about to add 3 more sessions, 3 live sessions that will take place in December and in January, because Light Language course grows with me. I activated new languages such as the Dragon language and the Soul language. I've expanded my Akashic language, and I want to talk about those languages that were not available for me when I was first recording the course, but now are. So every student that's already with me will get access to it. And for those of you who are not yet students of mine and want to learn light language, I've got a special offer on until midnight LA time tomorrow on Tuesday. So you will receive 4 unique light language activations, because there is a light language, galactic light language activation, there is terrestrial light language activation, there's a moving activation, which is for those of you who are stubborn and stuck in your mind. We're getting it into the body, as well as 5 quantum instruction modules, 4 group practice sessions, 3 coaching and Q&A sessions, and my ongoing personal support in a private group. What's really special about how I do things is that you get my support. So it's not some coach, and I don't outsource it. You get support from me. You get access to my own mailbox where you can send me audio samples. You can tag me in a group, and every response will be written by me and not by someone I trained. I'm all for training. However, I believe my soul mission cannot be outsourced, and I've got true passion for what I do. So you also have 3 bonus sessions. So you've got the Starseed activation, which was a phenomenal activation we led in August, which we intended for it to be just activation of light languages, of galactic light languages, but 10 races came forward, and each activated their starseeds and brought a gift. So all these gifts, every race turned up with a gift in their hands. They all came forward. They are all available. You activate your starseed mission, you claim those gifts, and you move into alignment with them. There's the moving activation, and there's codes of divine expression. So there's a lot of content. This course regular price is $888 US. Until midnight tomorrow, there's a special offer of $555 US. And what we also have is we've got a live bonus for all of you here on live. As a thank you for your participation, for the next 24 hours, you will get also a live bonus, Arcturian's Codes of Abundance and 5 the Abundance activations. 2 separate transmissions. It will be added to your account. So if you're ready for the light language course and for this investment, you get abundance back. Don't worry. If you move into alignment, if you feel like this is your calling to learn and develop light language, then I don't want you to be out of pocket. I want you to make your investment back. That's why I'm giving you the Arcturian Codes of Abundance and 5 the Abundance activation. And for those of you who have recently purchased light language course over the last week, on that special offer, I'm going to add this bonus as well, because you were the first movers, you trusted this, so you're going to receive that as well. But those of you who are here with me today, you can grab this live bonus for the next 24 hours, Arcturian Codes of Abundance and 5 the Abundance activations, 2 amazing transmissions, so you can move into this feeling of abundance, and abundance felt in New Earth way, where you're living your mission, you're doing what you're passionate about, and you are also getting income back from what you're doing. So I invite you to join me if you feel the calling, if you feel the resonance. If you have any more light language questions, feel free to reach out or ask underneath the live. If you're catching up on replay because you're not with us, I invite you to do it. I just want to thank everybody who is here with me today, and people on TikTok too. Sending you so much love, and I hope to see you in near future. Where do we sign up? bit.ly course. bit.ly course is the light language course. That's how you sign up, or just comment course underneath the live. People on TikTok, you can head to my bio. That's where you find it. People on Facebook Live, you can click on the link bit.ly course, which I have just added onto the live stream. Thank you all so much. Let's stay in touch, and I hope to see you on the light language course, and I hope to see you in the virtual space, or maybe some of you live somewhere in Costa Rica. Sending you so much love. Namaste.